Mongrel intruder, that tarnished, it seemeth. Mother, wouldst thou truly lordship sanction in one so bereft of light? Yet, my purpose standeth unchanged. Those stripped of the grace of gold shall all meet death in the embrace of Mesmer's flame.
Seek audience with the three fingers and the flame of frenzy. Burn the Erd tree to the ground and incinerate all that divides and distinguishes. Ah, may chaos take the world. May chaos take the world!
What's good, guys? Shaw Collector here. Today I'm coming at you guys with a sort of weapon platform Volt build. Now, I know I only showed melee in the gameplay footage, but it really doesn't matter. You can use primaries as well. But this is my go-to melee setup for Volt. Now, before I get into the build, I want to tell you guys about Volt and his abilities. So, for his first ability, we have replaced it with Breed Surge. because there is a funny synergy between his fourth and her breed surge. Now, his first ability is shock, which is exactly what it says. You send out a shock that shocks enemies and it stuns them. Now, it is good with the augment shock trooper because it'll give you bonus electrical damage that will combine with your modded elements. So, if you have pure toxin on a weapon, shock trooper will combine and give you corrosive. Now, on to his second ability, it's speed. Speed as well, it literally says everything in the card. It gives you speed and reload speed and attack speed, which that I don't know why it doesn't say that. Now, Wolf's electrical shield is a projectile. It's a shield that blocks all projectiles, gives you more electric damage, which does not apply to melee, and it gives you more crit damage. Now, another reason why we're using it is because I use the epitaph to prime enemies. And the funny thing with epitaph is there's knockback. But if you use Volt's shield and shoot, it will block the self stagger. But if you shoot between the shield, as you can see, it will still stun you. So if an enemy is like right here and you want to shoot at him, there's a high chance you will get staggered. So keep that in mind. Now Volt's fourth is like a Tesla coil. What it does is he sends out a radius of electricity which chains enemies and it does like this loop of damage. As you can see, they all chain to each other and constantly give each other a lot of it just chains between them. So the thing is, Volt's fourth ability, it does not really scale or strength all that much. What you need to do is build it for duration and range, which is not what discharge is used for in this build. We're using the augment capacitance, which will convert the damage discharge does into overshield, which gives us constant shield, and that will keep us alive for a long time. Now, the funny synergy I was talking about earlier, is when you cast Breed Surge, enemies have a 10% chance when hit to send out projectiles that hit each other. Now, when you have Breed Surge and Capacitance on, enemies are constantly getting hit and you're getting constant seeking projectiles, so it keeps looping on itself, which is very fun. Now this will keep them blinded, crowd controlled, and you can deal extra damage in that window. Plus it gives you a lot of shield, which is good. Now this is, as I said, you can use this with anything. So the synergy is you use a grouping tool. Either you use Magus Anomaly or a Zaw. I use the Zaw, the Docrum Zaw, with Exodia Hunt with Tempo Royale. So Tempo Royale does a lot of ground slams. As you can see, there's 2 in the first. This can trigger Exodia Hunt into pulling each other closely. And now when you cast Breach Surge, press 4 and you prime them, you can deal damage and they will all die. Now, is this one of the best builds on the planet? No, you could make this build better. This is what I run because I find it very comfortable. Now before I show you the build, I'm going to talk about the Archon shards. These are not necessary, you don't have to run them at all. I just don't have Tau Forged yellows yet. So I have 4 of these yellow shards. And then I have 1 for parkour velocity. But when I combine these 2, I'll put 2 electricity shards over here to give me more electricity damage. Now, moving on to the build. Build is very straightforward. Enemy radar for the aura, because anything else really doesn't matter. Like, you can run growing power if you want to, but you don't really need to. So enemy radar is there. Redirection, because as you can see, if we go here, we have 555 shield and 1 cast of our discharge will only give us 1755 shield. We go here, press 4, we're getting 2310 shield, which is a lot higher than 1750. So redirection, rolling guard, if you get hit by a Blitz Eximus or something like that, or you have a bunch of states of X from an Arson XMS or someone like that. That is there to cleanse you. Primed continuity, because duration is actually kind of key in this build. Speed, you'll see, because this is a breed search build, you're gonna be spamming a lot. So I'm deciding to run with a high amount of duration to keep these two abilities up most of the time. You'll be casting your 1 and 4 quite a lot in this build, so that's there. Capacitance is a must-have for the for the electricity damage to shield on discharge. Umbral Intensify for strength. If you have the max strength, you'll get 144%. Stretch is there for some basic range because this is not really a nuke build. Our capacitance is there for giving a shield. It's not really there for damage, but breach surge and discharge can kill like trash mobs like corpus and non-armored enemies. So that's there. So you can kind of pseudo nuke with it, but it's not really a big nuke. Now streamline, you can drop this for more duration if you want to. It's up to you. I just because I spam it a lot and I use it with melee, I kind of need to spam this quite a lot, so I use streamline. In the XLS slot, you can really run anything. It doesn't really matter. I mean, sure, you can run Prime Surefooted or anything you really want. Uh, or you can run more duration with Cunning Drift, but more slide and shit. So, I don't know. It's up to you, really. What do you want to run in the XLS slot? You can run it. If I had to suggest, Prime Surefooted would probably be your best bet, or you can run Power Drift or Handstring, Cunning Drift, Mars Anguish. There are plenty of options for what you can do. Now for Arcanes, I just run Molt Efficiency and Molt Augmented. If you're not running Archon shards like me, Arcane Energize is a must-have pretty much because you'll be spamming so much you're going to need a lot of energy. So now moving on to the Epitaph build, it's nothing really insane. It's just a basic priming build with secondary dexterity to give more combo duration. And my Dokram Zaw is made of the Sakila Grip Varji Jai 2. I don't think it's the best one out there, but it sure as hell is decent. I have it built for viral and electricity. I have a Riven which you can replace with Berserker Fury. It's not the best Riven out there, but it's something. Melee Influence and Exodia Hunt for even more. I don't know. Like melee influence is just you kind of just have it on anything. And the other weapon I use it with the inner dem. It's the inner dem. As you can see, it's a zero former build, and they can do Steelpath pretty easily. Now this is built for more status more than anything. Now, if I were you, and you want to get real damage out here, you replace Blood Rush with Primed Reach, and you put in more status chance because it's fun. More status means you'll be proccing melee influence more and stuff like that. So it's really up to you how you want to play with it. Literally any other melee works too. You can use Guandao, you can use the Sifan Zaw. I don't use a lot of melees other than the Guandao Prime pretty much. So that is the build. Now for focus goals, obviously running Naramon with Power Strike is a good idea. You can also run Madurai for the power strength and Chain Sling. You can also run Unairo for knockdown resistance and Yurik for literally any focus goal works. It's just up to what you want. I use Unairo because it gives me knockdown resistance, and that's pretty much it. Now primary doesn't really matter. All that really matters is you have primary dexterity on your thing, so it gives you a bunch of combo duration. So without if I build some combo, see how long it takes for it to drain, and if you have Naramon, that will stay up even longer. So you're pretty much good to go. So that is the Volt Prime build. It is a very simple build and it does not take a lot of setup either. You just need Breach Surge, Subsume onto it first, and then you can have a lot of fun. Now, you don't have to run melee influence, and you don't have to run melee only. This is not a build like that. And there are some weaknesses to it. For example, violence can suck. If you run out of energy, this build can be pretty fucking shit. And obviously, Blitz Eximus one-shotting your shield is not really ideal. So there are a few weaknesses, but I'm pretty sure most of them can overcome. The main issue, if you're running this with a pure melee focus, is the tile set. If you get a bad tile set, you don't really get a lot of kills and it becomes iffy, life support starts to drop. But for the most part, it is a good build. It can pretty much shred through acolytes, no issue. So if you have, if you're interested in playing Volt another way other than Nourish and Shock Trooper, give this build a try. It is fun at the end of the day. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys have a nice day.